For us, having that mission statement is the guiding principle of all the decisions that we make. Good example is we make programming decisions around songs not only based on what sounds good, but we look at gender balance. We look at cultural identity. We want to make sure there's a wide range of representation. So sometimes two great rap songs might be released in the same week, but I need to maybe have a little bit of Americana in the mix as well. So maybe one of those rap songs doesn't make it onto the airwaves. It's this goal of having balance to make sure that everyone feels like there's something on the menu for them.
I think what's unique about Black Lens and then another program within Milwaukee Film Scene Fronteras is that we're not just a festival program, we're also a program that tries to bring an audience that hasn't been coming to the festival for quite some time. The major challenge is that the Oriental Theater is on the east side, and people from African American and Latinx communities historically do not feel welcome in those particular spaces.
I think people talk so much about how Milwaukee is like super segregated, and I think what's awesome with what Milwaukee Film is doing, not only with like Black Lens but with Genre Queer and Cine Sin Fronteras, is kind of like bridging those like divides and all existing within like this really wonderful, beautiful organization.
I think from a challenge perspective, funding is always a challenge when you are trying to stay very focused on mission-related work. YWCA made a very distinct decision not to what we call chase funding, which is to say that there's this bright shiny grant out there and it's really not related to our mission, but it's bright and shiny and it would bring a lot of needed funding into the organization. So funding is an ongoing challenge. It is a daily part of our lives. But I also believe that when the work that you do is mission focused, that fundraising is not as big a challenge as it would otherwise be.
So you get a spectrum of young people who come to Urban Underground, right? Some young people who are like want to be at the forefront of things and like are ready to launch initiatives and are like rooted in the work. But you also get young people who are like, I want to come here because it's a cool place. But I'm like super shy, and we consistently throw young people in front of crowds, in different spaces with people in positions of power, and it's uncomfortable at first. But once they realize that people are actually listening, they take control.
Given that we're in Milwaukee, sometimes we kind of have a best kept secret status because Milwaukee may not be an immediate destination. However, when people come to the festival, they have a great time because of the engagement they have with the festival goers, and also we work very hard to make sure that hospitality is top notch. And so the filmmakers and guests who come to the Milwaukee Film Festival, they come away from it having been treated really well, knowing that their art is being taken seriously. And when they're on the festival circuit or within their network of filmmakers or other artists, when Milwaukee comes up, people often say, they have a great film festival.
I've actually only been here for a month now in this role. So for me, being an audience member, it's very different, like seeing how things operate behind the scenes. So I think my perception has changed from being like, this is just a group of people who like find really cool films and then they screen them. Now I'm kind of seeing more of the year-round programming process and what the goal is and how the mission has expanded past the 2 weeks of the festival.
So in 2014, the idea of Black Lens was introduced to me. I reached out to Gerard Blanks, who is currently the Director of Cultures and Communities. Black Lens is one of the programs that he oversees. And he, at that time, was a regular festival goer. And so I thought it would be great to work with him on creating this new program.
So we're doing our membership drive right now. And what makes Radio Milwaukee so unique is that we're a listener-supported station. So because of our listeners and because we're a listener-supported station, we're able to do things a little bit differently. And it's because of those individuals that we're able to be independent. We want to really celebrate the work of Milwaukee artists.
We realize that radio and media can be a one-way conversation. I listen to any commercial radio station in our market or any market. They don't have open phone lines for you to send requests. They're not asking your opinion on what the music is. Our bottom line is a cultural bottom line. So for us, if all three of you who are here today with me don't find something in what we do, then I've not done my work. Everyone has to feel like there's something there for them. And when you have something like that, then everyone feels welcome. And when everyone feels welcome, everyone can connect.
A lot of just open to everybody. It's not really just focused on, only black youth. It's focused on all youth in general, but, since it's more focused on kids, maybe not focused on kids, but issues around the city of Milwaukee, inner city, so a lot of black kids are around in that area.
Yeah.
So we go there every Tuesday, have some fun, have a session on some issues that go on, what we can do to improve the community. And
We have a series of different curriculums that we use at the crux of it, foundations of organizing, right, and systems of oppression.
But we're trying to build something like this little institute, not an institute, or this club where we can get our fellow black kids off the streets so that they have something to do after school, so they're not like doing like bad things or getting themselves into trouble.
One of our goals is to let employers know what we always say, which is that if we were dealing with even a quarter of what the folks we serve are dealing with, it'd probably be pretty difficult to get out of bed in the morning, and we consider ourselves pretty motivated people, right?
That's true.
That we need employers to start seeing all of what the folks we serve are shouldering, how that contributes to their capacity to be great employees because they can handle a lot. And by fostering those relationships through that one-on-one time spent with employers, I think we are moving the needle in how employers see people that are in the job market right now and are struggling to connect to work.
So our goal is to say the music might just be the treat. It might be the sweet that gets you in. It's like the candy that welcomes you into the door. Once you're in the door, we're going to give you the medicine. And the medicine is really talking about, like, where are we at? How can we get together more? How can the city move forward into a space where everyone feels welcome and included? That's what we aim to do. We want to hear what the community has to say, what's important to them, and then we want to reflect that back in the work. And I think that's how, honestly, we'll make the city a better place, is when we have those open dialogues and we find connection together.
So we would like to believe that it's going to be around forever, but many nonprofits would say we'd like to work ourselves out of business, like we don't want to have to exist. But that would require us to end racism and systems of oppression, which I still say if we don't put our minds to it, we won't even attempt it. So I think the YWCA is on solid footing in terms of the work that needs to be done. It's always how do we gather people who care as much as we do to join us to keep that fight going.
Yeah.
The one thing that I can talk about is that we are hoping to do more kind of like community programs and opportunities to like partner with different people here in the city. And so I'm looking forward to that because I think it'll create not only more opportunities, but it'll just be really cool to see like what we can do outside of the festival and even what we can do outside of like Black History Month's Minority Health Film Festival.
We go to City Hall. We go to school board hearings. We meet with elected officials, just so young people can talk about the issues that they care about.
just bringing all of you from all across the state for now together. Hopefully soon it'll be more nationwide. We can bring different organizations across the country.
I believe that bringing the youth together is a big accomplishment that we're doing. That is still ongoing, still bringing more people in to make it larger and larger, so we'll be stronger and stronger.